Hello everyone, Truckies Danger Money again. Very successful. Wearing this shirt. I know everything's backwards on here, but it's a pretty backwards idea. It's just the way the camera is, because of course we don't have professional gear here. It's just a laptop, an iPhone, an iPad. So, just having a crack. But I'm a very proud person of my country from all the men and women that have lost their lives, as you know, in defending our country and serving us domestically in our domestic industries. That's the only reason why I'm doing this, out of respect. There's a lot of people that don't like what I'm doing because they think I'm stirring up trouble, and that's not right. I just want to bring a positive message to everyone and their families, because a boost to just a bit of how you feel can make the day a bit better, and I want to make our transport industry better. So there's a lot of people that don't want to be affiliated with what I'm doing. I know they support me in their heart, and that's very good, but unfortunately, as we know, the transport industry is very cutthroat, as I've said. So you've got to have the right weight in the right place, otherwise you're just going to roll over. And I'm just a little old rigid putting down the road, getting hammered by past, 100 strong convoy of triples. So, but I'm there to share the road, and the road is the internet. And this is my message to all my friends in the industry, because you are my friends. I hope you're all right out there on the road now. And every time I was driving, I'd you wave to blokes, because you've got a bit of respect for other people, and that's all I'm doing, because I'm not on the road, and I'm just doing it to say thank you to everybody on behalf of my family here and my extended family, because we all, with our long history in this country from my family, know that Australia wouldn't be anything without our transport industry, and it won't be unless it's very good in the future. And that's all I'm trying to do, is to get people together at Alice Springs. Who knows what's going to shout out, if they'll even let me in there and say, do you agree on it? If they all shout me down, at least it's been explored. And that's what the men and women of the industry need, is any idea that will save their lives, because they are very important members of the community, and they have children, and they are the future of our country, and that's what we need, is a very strong transport industry. Got a lot of mates because they've done me a lot of favours over the years, and it might look like I'm not doing them many favours right now, and drawing bad negative attention away from the transport industry towards me. And as long as it's off me, it's off them, and that's good, because they do a very hard job. We've got a mate around the corner who works for Fred's. I've got plenty of mates who work at Easters, and up there in North Queensland, Mackay Haulage, and all, lots of boys from Toll, and all the old boys that used to be at Finneymores and that. And a lot of fellas around Dubbo, like Grant Tipping and everyone he knows, and Alyssa Swain and her family. The Swains were in Kenworth for a long time there in Dubbo. And I went to school with Alyssa, and Des Hargraves and Murray Strike and Scooter, and lots of Paddle Pop and Des Hargraves. They're all really good people in our community. They do a lot. They put their finances and their lives on the line to serve the community, and that's all I'm doing, is paying recognition to all those friends of mine that I have driven for, and that I respected as people, for giving me a shot at the time, and also for treating me with respect. There is other people in Dubbo, of course, that I forgot to mention that I've worked for, like Rod Pillen and who else is there? Robert Holmes. Did a lot for Holmesy. Holmesy will remember me. I used to stir up trouble in the office there all the time. And the Suckling brothers out there in Dubbo, and Tommy Burgee, he's one of my best mates. He's a good fella. He's another fella that deserves recognition for what he does for his family. He's a truckie, although he's not in a truck right now. He's driven plenty of them. He did an apprenticeship as a welder out there at Shanks Trailers at Dubbo, building freight trailers for the road industry, and he's done a lot, and his old man's well known in the community as well, and so is his mother, who's spent a long time being a nurse in the community, working at different hospitals, and she is also a great lady in our community. But Tommy, you know, he was very crook, and it didn't look like he was going to make it, and it was really bad. And because he's such a good guy, I was so worried about him, and he's been my friend for, you know, how long has it been now? Tommy, like 25 years or something. So, you know, and all the fellas, you know, I know I've got my back, because I've always got their back, and you know that. And there's plenty of boys down there in Bankstown and stuff like that we know, of course. And they're all champion boys as well, because plenty of them drive trucks out there. Not only that, they've got trucks, and also people down that way do have a lot of respect owed to them, and I show my respect to them by thanking them for everything they do for their community, because they are very good people, and so are their families. And you know, all my love from my families to your families, and you know, we're in this industry for a good reason, and that's for our families, to provide for them. And the members that we've lost need to be recognised more than just Lights on the Hill and stuff like that, even though I love Lights on the Hill, and it just breaks my heart at the same time. You know, like I said, there's been a lot of fellas do me favours over the years, and I want to send a shout out to them. I don't want them to be bagged out for me mentioning them. It's just, you know, I'd like to tell everyone in the transport industry that they are my heroes, and heroes to my family here, and to a lot of other young people out there, and they don't get told that enough. I don't care if we don't spend any money on danger money. I want danger money. If other people don't, that's fine. As long as I'm telling everyone how much I appreciate them, which is just a little bit of a start to get that cracking for our community and our industry as well. Because a lot of what people say to me is that if you're broken down and stuff like that, no one stops and no one helps you. And you know, I'm happy to help anyone on the road, as people know. I know plenty of people that do stop and help people, especially if they're in distress. I did have a lady in distress on the Nullarbor. The husband had been quite violent, and of course out there the police are a long way away. They're very hard to get hold of, and when you're one person out there against someone that's hurting a lady, you know, that's still not to be tolerated, even in the middle of nowhere. And I had to turn my road train around and go back and assist her, because I've got a duty of care to the community when I'm driving the road, and so does everyone else, and that's just part of being the community as well. The lady was okay physically. She was very upset. She was very worried about being isolated here, because she was a foreigner, and the husband really was not very pleasant. So, you know, I try and look after the people, and you know, please, everyone, get safe home to your families today. If you're out there on the road watching this on your iPhone for 15 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour, well, at least you got a break in, and, you know, pass it around and show your mates and have a laugh. At least it's something different, and it's about real trucks in Australia, because that's what I do. I love trucking, and, you know, I've collected trucking life all my life, you know, and all the people on the road that I used to read about that aren't around anymore. It's hard for me, because I want to know everything I can, and they're not around to teach me, and that's unfortunate, because now I can't pass that on to other drivers, and neither can anyone else, and all that experience has been lost, and that's our greatest resource in this country. So that's all I'm doing this for, is for their recognition. So that's my personal effort, and my family back me up, and to all the other families, um, we have that connection in our community that we do have, the community spirit here in Australia, where, it's very good. Everyone, you can be angry and that's all right, because everything's all right here in Australia, and it's because of the men and women in the transport industry that provide everything for us, and I appreciate that. Everything from your morning coffee to the bed you slept in, and everything has been moved by a member of our industry, and they don't get enough recognition, as I said. So this is my little bit to say thank you from my family to everyone out there. I've tried to mention all the different trucks, garbos and tippers and log trucks, and B-doubles and scales, and they're all out there. B-double fridges, the grocery boys, the float drivers, the quad drivers. There's so many. If you have a look at all the groups, there's so many truckies. And that's one thing we have in common, is that we all have family. And it's important that everyone recognises each other's family and gives them a bit of respect, because they are heroes on the road, and they're a family of heroes. And I respect them as I would from a war veteran, a hero, or a respected member of Parliament or something like that, because they deserve that. They do that out of the goodness of their heart. Yeah, they choose to be in that industry, and that makes them a champion to me, and I'm fine within my right to pay them praise. So, he's a champion. He's out there. I know what it's like. So all I'm saying is, there's people that don't just think you're a steering wheel attendant and a monkey and all this stuff that they say, that at least I think of you as a human being while you're at that wheel, because I'm there with you, and I've lost mates doing it, and it's very hard to try and fix the numbers, and the only way we can do it is by talking to the drivers and making them understand that you can slow down a bit. You don't have to get there. Doesn't matter. You're worth more than that load. But unfortunately, that's not the way it is. And that's very unfortunate for all the members, men and women, who are pushed through the night and stuff like that. And when you wake up after you've had a bit of a meltdown, you feel real bad, and you're panicked and stressed because you're late, and it just brings the whole industry down. Or if you can, do different things like schedule the trucks in a different way, run the convoy system at night, all sorts of stuff you could try in the industry, and I definitely support something like that. Of course, it's very dangerous to have a convoy system, but that's what happens out there anyway every night, as you know. I've put up movies before when I've been going down the Pacific Highway at night, and there's 20, 30 trucks in a row at night. It's just a spectacular sight, of course, and it is quite beautiful to me. And a lot of other men that enjoy being out there on the road and love their trucks and like to have them all shiny at night, so they're all glowing out there. And Millie knows what I'm talking about. He's another one. He's mad on the neon lights up the chassis. And you's all the champions. The way you do your trucks up and that to the young kids, and it's hard because they don't have a positive role model in our industry to look at, except for their fathers and their uncles and stuff like that. And so because they are heroes to them kids, and especially to my kids as well, and to me as well, and my wife, and for what they do for their own families. It's all a big community out here in the world, which we live. There's a lot of stress and stuff like that. So I'm saying, I don't want to fix the roads and all that sort of stuff that everyone else says. I want the people to be okay. And as you know, the way the economy is and everything, it's very difficult. People are under a lot of pressure. and people in the that own trucks and have debts and stuff like that, they look at this system that I'm talking about and they're very worried. But of course, they would be protected by it as well. It would be in the award. As I said, I'll put the numbers up for people to have a look at. It's 0.0, I think it's 0.04 of 1 cent per kilogram over the truck. I believe that it will increase productivity and decrease losses of freight, and most importantly of all, it would decrease losses of life because the drivers would be more refreshed. They could have less of a busy driving schedule and be forced to drive in a 24-hour rolling system when, of course, everybody knows the world has two different systems of light and day, and those environments are very different to drive in, and also different times of the night are very different to drive in as well, and you need to be properly rested, and that's why there is fatigue campaigns out there. But everyone gets thrown in the same boat of having to drive through the day when you can see everything to 4 in the morning when it's just that bit of light where you can't see properly. You're really doughy because you've been going all night and you've done 900 and you only got 80 to go, and that's when accidents happen. And it shouldn't be like that. The drivers should be able to be fully rested while they go on the road and be able to run a midnight to midnight clock so that A, they are sleeping in the same pattern and getting that rest, and also be able to put in a big go if he has to with a big rest either side, which is a big rest, big go, and a big rest, instead of this just be tired all the time, which it is, as everyone knows. And I have said that publicly in big rigs before, that it should be back to midnight, and a lot of people do agree with me on that, just to be quietly, but of course they won't make any revenue out of a midnight to midnight system because it gives them less rules to enforce, which of course will mean lower fines, which of course takes away from the government, from their revenue. But with a boost to the transport industry, it would actually be above the numbers that the government would lose in fines, which seems very strange to me that you wouldn't advocate for stronger industry and less regulation to slow it down, especially in a world economy like this that we are. I've said before, especially about the transport industry for the cattlemen up there in the Northern Territory, when the cattle ban was on, which was, how good was that for the men and women of Australia? It wasn't very good, and it wasn't very good for a lot of my mates in the trucking industry because they lost a lot of money in the community because people can't accept that there is other cultures and they do practice different things, and they want to cause up a stir, and all it did was harm all those people on them stations out there and driving the trucks out there and getting our produce overseas. They're just hindered from conducting their business and being greater for our community for it, because they do a lot for the community up there. It's so big that when they do stuff, it is very big also, which is to be commended for them. I've got a lot of Aboriginal mates, and I've got a lot of respect for Aboriginal people, as you know. Growing up in Dubbo, I've got a lot of mates, got a lot of half fellas and that. They're all champions. A lot of them drive trucks as well, or work in different industries, driving forklifts and stuff. And they're all my mates as well. Happily had me honeymoon up there in Darwin. They're all good boys. They're champions, that they deserve their bloody go as well. Getting danger money when they're in the trucks, because native people to this land do drive trucks as well, and they're out there working in the roadhouses and on the road, and they do a very important job when they're on the road. They search for their artefacts and where their families are buried to make sure that no disrespect comes to them, and that's very good that we still have that in our community. And I welcome that because that's very good to recognise people's beliefs, as I'm asking people to believe in the heroes of the road, which are the truck drivers, of course, because they are such legends. And if I had a trophy shop, I'd give them all one for being such huge people in our community. I can't say enough good things about him. But, you know, a trucker could come up and hit me with a baseball bat and I'd still tell him he's awesome because, you know, it takes a lot of guts to do it. You can, you know, you can dodge a bullet in the jungle if you're sitting out the back camp. But when you're in a truck, it never goes away. It's always on. You're always in the truck. You're always liable to be killed. And at any time, you could be asleep. And this has happened of where people have been asleep in a parking bay and a truck has come along and there's been an accident and those people have been lost to our industry. And that's very unfortunate as well. So, you know, it never stops for truckies, and that's how we recognise them here at Truckies Danger Money. I've got to go and get some more ink, of course, and get back out there handing petitions out, but I just wanted to say to all the boys that take the time to go back and listen through day one through all the videos of what I'm trying to do, and not take offence to it, because I think these are all legends and champions, of course. Because without you guys, what, you know, who you got to go fishing with and who you got to go play cricket with and all them things, if you haven't got any mates to do it, it's not much fun. And truckies are all mates on the road, as I've found out over the years, that despite the differences in what they think, they are still mates. And that's why I wasn't afraid to do this, because if I'm just seen as trying to be a mate and bring awareness to just the people that I've lost and pay them homage, well then my mission is complete and successful. And so please keep signing and sending in Truckies Danger Money. My phone number's 0409 619 838, and give us a call, or please put a video up and say, yeah, it is dangerous, mate, but we don't want danger money, but yeah, truckies are legends, because that'd be good. Like a lot of boys to get on there and say, yeah, I've got a good mate and he does it hard and he still gets out there and it's really good, and he doesn't get on the gear and he does it all right and stuff like that, and praise it up and put a bit of positive light into the men in our industry. Because if you're sitting there watching me on your iPhone now, or you're sitting there with the truck idling, well then I wish I was there with you and we were cracking it somewhere at a full dollar, full load on. Got to get in, because it is about having fun as well, enjoying what you do, and you should all be commended for your actions towards our community. As I said, I'll if any boys up there know how to mine up some copper or something and stamp out some medals, I'll give everyone a medal, because they're all champions and heroes. Of course, I'm no one, I'm just someone in the industry, in the community, that is quite happy to be in the industry, and a lot of people think I get down on it and that, but you know, I love it and I always will, and so are my family, and so are your family, and you know, everyone's got to pay respect to what's owed so far over 200 years. And we get a day here and there, and it's up there at Truckies Day. All the mates are going to be there. It's going to be great. Get the cattlemen there, get the East Coast guys and the West Coast guys and the Southern guys, and all come up, and they can all go and have a chat, and I'll put my feet up under a tree and have a rest, because, you know, getting them up and getting community together, and all the women, of course, and all the children that can come and check out the Hall of Fame. They've done a very good job over a long time to advocate for our industry, the very good things there, and they deserve everyone to go out and spend a bit of money there and increase their business. Like, the flow and effects to the economy will just be greater for our transport community, and also show a little bit of unity. I'm not asking for people to unify behind me. I have my petition, and that's all I'm going to do. If someone was to ask me, what else would you do? I'd throw out length laws, and I'd only advocate for trailer length laws, and I'd let the prime mover have as big a bunk as it want, so that the men and women on the road can get their rest properly, which of course Tony Lee as a health and safety advisor agrees. If you look after the person, you look after the industry, and that's very important to me. And once she said that to me, I think that's something that clicked in me to push for this. Positive changes in the industry of where how can the government say no to you if every single person in the industry agrees, and including members of parliament and stuff like that, that let's take those 30 death losses to 1 and make them 1 to 1, and take that $2 billion loss out of our industry, and then the following year put it back into the industry, and that's a $4 billion boost over 2 years directly to the members of the transport industry. You can check my numbers on that, please do, people. I do a lot of math. I was top of my maths class. I wouldn't have started anything I didn't know, and please check it out and keep supporting me and keep watching for videos. If you got something to say, just say it. It's quite respected, as you can see by the flag on my shirt. Thanks everyone. Keep it safe out there.